Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now, today's first story comes from Gold217, and it's titled, Would I be the arsehole here if I disowned my parents after my mum refused to take care of me after I give birth? Throwaway account. And my English writing is really bad, please bear with me. So I, 28 female, am 30 weeks pregnant with my first child and I'm about to move to another state. And mum has this thing where she takes care of my siblings when they give birth until they recover. She has done it for my older sister and my brother's wife, so I thought she would do the same thing with me too. But a week ago she told me that she couldn't because it is too far away. We got into a fight about the whole thing and I told her to get out of my house, and now we're not talking. Before you judge me and say that my mum isn't obligated to take care of me, I will tell you that this isn't about my mum taking care of me. It was never about that. I am that one child in the family who nobody really cares about. My parents always claim that they love and treat us all equally, but man, is it obvious that they love me a little bit less than the others. I always thought that maybe I'm adopted and that's why they don't care about me that much. Well, I am wrong because I am 100% theirs. It's always about how my other siblings are doing or how mum and dad are suffering, but it is never about me. It was never about me from the beginning. I am rarely celebrated, even if it is supposed to be my day. My birthdays? They're rarely celebrated because mum and dad forgot, or they just threw everything in the house and called it a birthday. High school graduation party? Nope. My parents already wasted a lot of money for my big brother's college graduation party, so they can't do that, but they will make sure to make it up to me. Do you think that ever happened? I will give you a minute or two. If you guess no, then congrats, you guessed it right. Yay! They shared the wedding expenses of my siblings' wedding, but since my husband came from a good family, they didn't have to share wedding expenses. Not my words. I've always been the therapist who listens to my mum and dad's rough day, or the one who needs to help mum because my older siblings have a lot of schoolwork to do, or because my younger siblings are too young to do that kind of work. They always tell me that I'm a good daughter, but I am never the one they brag about to their friends. I did everything in my power to make them proud, but my achievements will always be below my siblings. I've tried to talk to them about how I feel multiple times before, but the only thing I get is a hard scolding about how I was getting spoiled. I hated my life until I got out of that house, but I never had the courage to let go of them, thinking that they would change. Well, my mum just proved me wrong. Mind you that my older sister lives a whole arse ocean away from us, but mum decided that taking a 10+ hour flight to another continent twice was not hard at all. But all of a sudden, taking a 4-hour ride to my home was too much. Especially when I'm in a place where I don't know anyone except my husband. I'm so fucking tired of them putting everyone else above me. So I will make things right between us until I leave because I don't want to end things on a bad note. When I get to my new house, I will just cut all contact between us. I don't think I have that energy to do all of this crap anymore, and besides, I have my lovely husband with me. So I'll be alright and build myself a new family where I'm truly appreciated and loved for who I am. Note, I'm the third out of 5 children. My younger siblings are twins. Oh dear, this is so frustrating for OP and something that we send time and time again in these stories. And like you said, it isn't about your mum taking care of you after you've given birth. It's about your whole life where you've been treated less than everyone else. And it feels horrible to say it because, you know, this is your life and this is what's been normalized for you, that you've been treated this way, but it just feels like there's always been that hope, even to this point, even to this post of hoping that they might change. But your birthdays, your graduation, making you the family therapist, never celebrating your achievements, and it just feels like for OP, this post is like the final confirmation of what she's always known, but tried to brush aside in the hope that they would change. And in some ways, and again, it probably sounds really horrible to say, I'm glad this has happened now for OP, that it's given this realization of what's truly going on. Because I wouldn't blame OP at all for going no contact. It isn't about revenge, just, accepting that you deserve better than constantly hoping people will start treating you like you matter when you deserve it. That is not how a loving family treats you. But Adobe says not the arsehole. Tell her you can't keep in touch. It's too far away. Nana Leone says not the arsehole. Yes, I agree with you. Make nice with your mum while you're visiting this time and minimize contact when you get back to your own home. It could be that your mother wants you to beg and plead, "Oh mummy, pretty please, come help me, I need you." But my reaction is, F that game playing. Put your energy into your husband and build a new support network where you'll live now. InfoSec Peasy says, not the arsehole. Put them on a strict information diet. Stay off socials. Inform your husband and his family that you want nothing posted on social media. Do not let them know when the baby is born or when you go into labor. Do not answer the phone. Respond to email, texts, etc. Put them on a ban list at the hospital if you have to. Gather more evidence of them singling you out. Then, when asked by others, you give them the full story. Maybe shame will cure them. And around 3 months after that post, OP came in with her update and said, "Hello. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for their kind advice. I was honestly shocked when I saw all of these messages. I really appreciate it. A lot has happened since my last post. I tried to call my parents, but they blocked, and I couldn't reach them, but I was determined on getting closure that the younger version of me wanted. So I called my older brother, and I asked him if we could meet up and talk about the situation. He told me that he won't meet up with me after what I've done to our mother, and he berated me saying that I was an ungrateful person, and that mum is in a lot of stress and pain because of me. I told him that it wasn't fair for him to just assume that I was the villain and that he couldn't even understand my point of view because they didn't treat him like they treated me my whole life. He knew that they treated me like their personal chef, maid, therapist for years because they couldn't even give me the love and attention that I wanted once in my whole damn life. He basically screamed at me through the phone that I was a piece of trash for saying that and that mum and dad treated us all equally, but I was just a damn narcissist who can't think about anyone but myself. I tried to talk, but my emotions got the better of me and I started to break down on the phone and he hung up on me. I even started asking myself if I was really the narcissist that my family seemed to think of me. But my husband came to the rescue and helped me through all of this. But the doubt that maybe I was in the wrong still lingered in my head. I guess my brother told my parents that I called him because Dad called about 2 days after that and asked me to meet up at their house. I was about to say no, but I couldn't because his voice was filled with remorse, so I thought that maybe, just maybe, we could get past this whole thing, and I could drop the thought of cutting contact, even if my mum doesn't want to help out. After like 3 days of talking to my dad, me and my husband went to their house to talk. I thought it was going to be me, my husband, and my parents talking, but they invited my brother and his wife. As soon as we sat, my dad started talking about how disappointed he was with me and that things shouldn't have led to this. I told him that he was right. Things shouldn't have escalated to where they are now, but I assumed that since mum helped take care of my sister and my brother's wife, she would do the same, but she just favored everyone else above me. It was frustrating. I told them about how I felt for the past years, and I told them everything that I said to you guys. But all of them acted like they didn't care, which honestly hurt like hell. I knew at that moment that I didn't mean anything to them. So why was I fighting to be a part of a family that didn't want me? My husband was going to speak, but I told him not to. Everyone gave their opinions about it, basically blaming me, and then Dad asked me if I wanted to say anything to Mum. I told her that I was sorry because I didn't want any type of bad blood between us before I closed this chapter and move on with my life. But she didn't say anything back, and Dad said that we needed some time cooling off and setting some boundaries. And I guess that was it between us. In the next 2 weeks, we were packing and leaving the state. I didn't tell anyone about where my new house will be. Only once I got there and settled down did I write a long message about everything they did and how I felt, and at the end of the message, I told them that I was completely cutting contact with my parents and older brother. I changed my phone number and blocked all of my family from social media. And you know what? My life has never been this peaceful in a long time. I'm happy about everything, and my baby will arrive any day now. It is honestly stressing, but I love it so much. We hired a helper around the house because why not? Now my day consists of sleep, take a walk, eat some more, have back and hip pains, and repeat, which honestly isn't that bad. Thank you for reading. Sweet Peach says to OP after this one, sounds like you finally chose peace over drama. Wishing you all the happiness with your little one. Bubbly Roses Sparkle says, yep, sometimes family is just a title. You don't owe them anything if they don't treat you with love and respect. Course Responsible says, blood doesn't mean loyalty. You gave them every chance, and they showed you exactly who they are. Now you get to build a family that actually deserves you. Wishing you nothing but peace and joy with your little one. I really hope OP sticks to their boundaries on this one and does stay no contact with these people. They set a trap up for her to gaslight her, to make her feel like she's the one that's in the wrong. And it's very telling that when you do go no contact, how much more peaceful your life has become. Enjoy that. Remember what they've put you through. Although it sounds like they don't know where you are, etc. I got a feeling that when baby does come along, mum will want to be in touch. And she will try and manipulate and gaslight to get her way. And just remember this post. And remember, family doesn't treat you that way. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you have dealt with it? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from MommaRinSD from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit, and it says, am I the arsehole for snapping at my boyfriend? For bringing a man into the bedroom while I'm trying to sleep? So, for quick context, my boyfriend bought us a new bed frame and mattress, but the frame came with a crack in one of the pieces. When he told Amazon, they just sent him another one. One day at work, an employee mentioned he was needing a new bed, so my boyfriend said he could have the one Amazon sent him if he didn't mind the broken piece. Well, he didn't, and he came to get it today. I know this person, and I do not like him for various reasons. My boyfriend told me the night before he was coming to get it. I said, cool, I'm not coming out of the bedroom unless I have to. He came and I vaguely heard them talking, but I was half asleep and didn't care. Then I heard my boyfriend say something about showing him our bed. I heard him say that I was in there, but it was fine. I kind of froze, half asleep and confused until I hear them coming, and I pulled the blankets over my head as my boyfriend announced he was coming in. I said very loudly, why? And they just came in. It was hot and stuffy under the covers. Thank God I wore baggy clothes and not my usual sleepwear. So I pulled the blankets down and the guy was just standing there in the doorway and awkwardly said good morning. To which I replied very angrily, good morning back, and probably looked like I wanted to kill everyone there. So my boyfriend showed off the bed and started to leave. To which I snapped at him for not shutting the door behind him on his way out. I don't like leaving the door completely open because it's so awkward when his kid goes to the bathroom across the hall and we see each other when I'm trying to sleep. I just want it cracked enough my cat can get in, and he knows this. Eventually, the employee leaves and my boyfriend comes in, and I immediately sat up and tell him I did not like that at all. He tries saying something in a sing-song voice that may have been a half-assed apology. I cut him off saying, I really didn't fucking like that at all. And he turned around and left without a word. I shut the door completely and laid down, just sort of locked up in place. My whole body sort of just felt heavy and my chest hurt, but I couldn't cry. But that was just so humiliating. To have not only a man that does not belong in my bedroom there, but also him seeing me in my safe space an absolute mess from sleeping was just horrible. Later when I got up for work, my boyfriend left as soon as he knew I was moving. Got his pants and left without a word. On my way out, I very angrily text him that since he decided to Irish goodbye me after hurting me that bad, I'd take the couch tonight. He didn't reply and he was asleep when I got home. So on the couch I am now. I want to know if I'm the arsehole for how I reacted. Have a feeling that he's now going to twist it when he does, or if he does, say anything at all. Yeah, absolutely not the arsehole in this situation. That's so disrespectful to do. And you know, it's always hard in text format reading these posts to get what's going on, but some of the wording in it did jump out to me, I have to say. And I'm just going to quote this section to see if you guys found anything about it at all. It might be just me, where OP said, I don't like leaving the door completely open because it's so awkward when his kid goes to the bathroom across the hall and we see each other when I'm trying to sleep. I don't know, it just felt off to me. But people were asking OP questions. Commenter said, from your description and quotes, I hear them coming and I pulled the blankets over my head and my boyfriend announced coming in. The guy was just standing there in the doorway and awkwardly said good morning, and said your boyfriend was being disrespectful to you and the buyer. The guy wanting to do the purchase also did not expect a sleeping human to be there. Note how the buyer was being respectful and your boyfriend was not. Again, with the boyfriend. And then quotes, I cut him off saying I really didn't fucking like that at all. And he turned around and left without a word and then says, this is wild and weird. Does he usually ignore your feelings? In quote saying shut the door and completely laid down and just sort of locked up in place. And it says, it was humiliating and intrusive. Not the arsehole. Please ensure your boyfriend wants you to be in a safe environment more than making a quick buck. Opie says, I'm not sure how to quote stuff on here like you did, so I'll try and answer in order. If it matters any, he was giving him the frame for free. He won't speak to me if he thinks I'm too emotional, which admittedly, I was definitely on fire in the moment, and we probably would have started a fight if he said anything but a heartfelt apology of some sort. I think he'd just tell me, oh, it's just so-and-so, because he doesn't care for why I don't like the guy. He was my employee. We used to work together and I was his boss, and he'd try to get me in trouble all the time because I tell him to do his job correctly. But this could just be me doom-dreading stories. We haven't talked yet, and I'm just sitting on the couch overthinking things. Thank you though. A commenter says, not the arsehole. Letting someone in your bedroom while you're sleeping is an arsehole move, especially when it's someone he knows that you don't really like. He should have had the decency to wake you up before he even got there, so you could have moved somewhere else. Imagine how uncomfortable you would feel if you had been sleeping naked. Your boyfriend should have had you get up before any of this happened. Your boyfriend owes you an apology to you and the employee for what happened. Your boyfriend owes you another apology for just walking away from you after you expressed how much you didn't like what he did and not talking to you for the rest of the day. How childish. Opie says, I specifically told him I wasn't leaving the room when he came unless I had to too. I tend to sleep in a lot and it was maybe normal get-up time for most people. 10:30ish I think. But when I told him that, he didn't say anything about showing him the bed frame put together. I keep trying to remember if I heard the employee ask to see it or if he offered, but I wasn't awake enough and I wasn't trying to listen to begin with. I can't help but feel he'd used me cutting him off against me. It just felt like he was saying it for the sake of saying it, you know? Nothing about his tone sounded sincere, and it just made me snap. And that's why I'm not sure if I'm the arsehole or not, because I guess I didn't give him a chance to apologize. Thank you for your input. A commenter says, not the arsehole. You set clear boundaries and your man straight up ignored them, bringing someone into your bedroom. Your safe space without a real heads up or respect for your feelings is a foul move. Maybe snapping wasn't ideal, but he kind of asked for it by dismissing your comfort like that. Dude needs to quit playing and show some respect. Opie says, thank you, that makes me feel a lot better. I felt bad for snapping, but then I just got angry again thinking about it, and wasn't sure if my anger was clouding my judgment on the matter. Commenter says, please listen when I say this. This man does not respect you, and he will not grow to respect you before the relationship ends. And love is not a weapon that can combat disrespect. It is a burning sacrifice on the altar of his ego. Get rid of him. Opie says, yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of people saying that he does things on here without me even saying anything. A commenter says, not the arsehole. I've been with my wife for 18 years. I would never cross that boundary with her ever. I don't care if she was awake. If she is obviously uncomfortable with someone, I wouldn't put her in that position, and no one is getting into our bedroom without getting through me first. The fuck is wrong with him? How long have you two been together? Because I feel like this is easily something you should have picked up on. Opie says, 3 years. End of this year will be our 4th. Technically, New Year's Eve is our anniversary. The issues have only happened in the last year and a half, I want to say. Commenter says, the comment about his kid makes me think this goes way deeper than this. Opie says, this is an awkward situation. His kid was obviously with someone well before me, and I don't really want to go into too much detail because he isn't mine, but basically got kicked out for lying about having a job, and now he lives with us with his girlfriend. I don't blame my boyfriend for how he ended up because the mum had full custody and wasn't exactly the easiest to deal with as he grew up. It's not my place to tell him how to try and fix it. I just find it really awkward when people see me sleeping that aren't my boyfriend. That's about as deep as that goes. Awkward shyness. We kept the door wide open when we lived alone. And to another commenter, Opie said, yeah, admittedly, I probably shouldn't have mentioned the son at all. He got nothing to do with it and he's quite happy living in his room rent-free with his girlfriend. So it sounds like the kid is a grown-up, and so a lot of people were calling that out. And Opie replied saying, yeah, he's a cool kid for the most part, but the mother wanted full custody after she got out of school. I'll say I could have worded my referral of him better, but his son was only mentioned in context to why I don't like the door being left open. And I really didn't think so many people would read this deeply into it like that. There's a very long and rather sad story about him with his son, one that is not really for me to tell a bunch of internet people. It is a big reason why I love him. He really sacrificed a lot for that boy, and I genuinely can't stand how he treats his father now after all he did for him, and still does for him. My boyfriend can be a dick, and he really fucked up this time with me, but he is never a bad father. If anything, he takes his stress and anger out on me, and maybe I do the same too, but there are lines not to cross. But yeah, I try referring to him more as his son. Admittedly, I call him kid as much as I do because sometimes so does my boyfriend when it's not his actual name. And there was some clarification that the son is 20-ish. And then a commenter comes in and says info. Ages? Looks like there's a big age gap between you and your boyfriend. Opie says, yeah, I guess it would be important. I'm 28. He's 50. Oh lord. Opie comes in with an update and says, there's a lot of comments, more than I expected. I want to start by saying thank you all, even the ones that said I was the arsehole but gave a polite reason why. This really helped me calm down. My anxiety and anger was through the roof, and this really helped me calm down, distract me and clear my head. I would like to clarify here because I noticed a lot of people misreading it, but the employee was never buying anything, especially not our actual bed that I was sleeping on. He was picking up a free spare bed frame because Amazon is kind of weird in how they fix things apparently. I really have no idea why or how they ended up in the bedroom. I will eventually find out, and that will be in the update, which I will update the post with an update when I have one. I tried to be polite as possible in my replies, but a few times my temper did flare a bit. I apologize for that. I admittedly haven't slept at all since it happened, so I'm pretty impressed I can spell still. I'd like to especially thank the men that apologized for what I dealt with. How the world is going about, that was really wonderful to see. And thank you to every woman that defended me and lifted me up. Your aggression was honestly sweet as fuck. I genuinely appreciate your kindness. When the time comes, I'm gonna let him explain himself, listen and explain myself as well. I will apologize for snapping only if he actually shows remorse what he did and understands how wrong it was. If he makes excuses, I'm not going to meet in the middle. I know a lot of you were mad about sleeping on the couch. I did no sleeping at all, of course, but when we've crashed before, he almost always takes the couch, so I don't see it as unreasonable, but I get where you're coming from. That's the goal. And yes, I am reevaluating my relationship with him even before I hear him out. I'm not going to act rashly. It's really impossible to explain a 3-year relationship in one post. And I know everyone wants to hear every detail, but not every detail is meant for strangers. No offense, I love all the advice and support you've given me, but I'm considering leaving him, and I do have a plan if it comes to that. I always have, in all honesty. But I really need to close my eyes right now, especially now that my chest doesn't hurt. Thank you dearly once again. I'll post the update when I have one, and I try to reply to people, because I always feel like I should when you put in the time to try and help me. Thank you. And OP comes in with one more update, and it starts off. I broke up with him. When he finally admitted he brought him in there to see the bed, he basically said all my reasoning for not being okay with it is stupid. That I was dressed and under a cover and it was fine. He said basically everything that everyone said in the comments and refused to see any wrong in his actions besides one brief admittance that he could see how I was uncomfortable. But in the same breath said he couldn't imagine how I'd feel violated and thus wouldn't validate my feelings. So I broke up with him. The spark probably should have waited until I was not at the end of the month and could more comfortably find a place to live. I'm fine. He just went off into the other room and laid down on the couch. I'm not concerned for my safety yet, but if I become so, I'll be able to stay with a friend. I can afford to move once I find a place. It just takes time. And no, I won't take the couch. It was a long conversation of me desperately trying to get him to understand. All this took was just admitting he was wrong and just apologizing. I couldn't get that much. Looks like I didn't know him after all. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Did OP handle it right? How would you have dealt with it? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, and your time. It always means the absolute world to me, so thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and much love.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh, yeah.